Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Look at Superbrothers Sword and Sorcery EP, with songs and sounds by Jim Guthrie. This is about a year-old iOS game that got ported to Steam last week, and I was actually really excited for this game to get ported to Steam, because unlike, a lot of games that go from iOS to Steam, like say a Bumbledore or a Containment the Zombie Puzzler, just to give you a few recent dubious examples, this game actually had some pedigree. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head, like, what particular awards it won. I'm not sure if it was recognized by the IGF, like the Indie Games Festival, but I remember reading, like, a list of the 10 best games of the year from Greg Kasavin, who is the creative director or, like, chief game designer, again, I don't remember the title, on Bastion, and also former editor-in-chief of GameSpot. And he listed Superbrothers Sword and Sorcery EP as one of his top 10 games of the year, along with games like Dark Souls and, of course, his own game, Bastion. So I was kind of excited for it, and when I heard that it was coming to Steam, because I'm currently bereft of an iOS device, I was pretty excited to finally play it. So this is finally that release, and it's kind of difficult to explain what this game is. It has exploration elements and puzzles, but it's not really like an adventure game, like a point-and-click adventure. Even though the only way you move around is basically by pointing and clicking. It has a lot of music, and the sound design is very important, but it's not necessarily a music game or a rhythm game. It's kind of like an interactive narrative with puzzles. And I'm not trying to sound pretentious, but that's really how the game has come across to me so far. So we'll get started here. You can see I'm about 30% of the way through the campaign, or through the game, I suppose, because there are no other modes. And I've got about, 45, 50 minutes in. So you can say maybe there's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours of gameplay to be had here, which is, I guess, a little bit steep for a game that is $8, but it's definitely an experience that so far is unlike, basically any other game I've played. So let's stop this record here. That will also earn you an achievement on Steam, and then we'll get started. So, the way the game is broken up is that it's basically split into different, I guess you could call them like sections or campaigns, and they're kind of framed by this like pixelated G-Man type character explaining to us just what's going on in the story, but I'm going to do my best to explain it as well. First, this guy's going to say something. Basically, we help this woodsman recover his key so we can progress in the game. So we'll let this go. And you'll get a little bit of a taste for the sense of humor of the game as well. We'll just progress past this. Of course, you can read it. We are playing a hero, I guess you could say, from the race of people called Scythians. But we'll learn more about that a little bit later. Alright, a little bit more of the backstory here that probably means a little bit more to you if you've actually played through the game. And here we have one of our principal inventory items here. This is called the Megatome, and basically what the Megatome allows us to do is see what other people around us are thinking. So it serves as kind of a quest log, but also kind of an insight as to what the other characters in the game are thinking about what's going on in their situation right now. And these little things are Sylvan sprites, and basically these are the objectives to the puzzles that I've come across so far. So we will have to, perform a certain set of actions in a certain order to get these Sylvan sprites to kind of free themselves from the landscape around us, and then, ascend to a higher plane of existence. And this is our overall goal here, the Gold Trigon. And as you can see, a little bit of a sense of humor here, as it was 100% clear that the woodsman known as Logfella had stopped paying attention. But we will take his key, and then we can go for a walk. Okay, so we have now entered into the actual game. So the way we move around is just by pointing and clicking on certain things in the landscape. So for example, I can point and click over here and move. I can point and click over here and move. And if there's something that you can interact with, it'll usually provide you with some kind of text prompt. So it is a little bit similar to a point-and-click adventure game in that sense. Like, for example, if I go click on the sign, it will tell me what the sign reads. Home is where the hearth is. Or if I go and click on, like, this roof over here, it'll explain what the roof is. So a solidly built water well with a broad wooden roof. Now, there's only a few more things I basically have to explain before we can really start moving forward in the game. And keep in mind that what we're going to come across is stuff that I haven't seen before, so I could be totally off base with my explanations so far. This is my impressions of the game so far. We also have our inventory, so we have a key, we have the Megatome, and we have some mushrooms. If we open up the Megatome, we'll be able to see like a Twitter feed, basically, of what people are thinking. Like, for example, let's open up ourselves here. We spied a solidly built water well with a broad wooden roof. So this is basically, oh, let's open this up again, like a log of our activity in the game so far, which is pretty cool. So if you ever forget like what you're doing, you can just come back to the Megatome and take a look at what is essentially a quest log. Or we can go to Logfella and see what he's done. So he asked us about our woeful errand. She started talking about the steps and the cursor of God. I guess that would be my cursor. And he must have nodded off at some point, etc., etc. And we can, you know, look at our dog. Bark, 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 bark. I like the names here. We got Logfella, Dogfella, Girl. This is like me when I'm naming my party in an RPG. What does Girl think? Alright, she's scared of the Sylvan Sprites. How about G-Man? What do you think? Seek a warm hearth and allow sleep to come to discover the threshold of liminality. Totally, man. Maybe I should have done this video on 420. But in any case, we are going to move forwards here. Now, the basic story of the game so far is that we went on a quest with Logfella to get this Megatome. And once we got it, this, like, really sinister storm set in on the environment. And now everyone's all, you know, sad and depressed. But we are going to follow our dog. And we're going to try to soothe the storm by getting all the Sylvan Sprites to go away. So, by now, we should be able to go through this door because I have that key. And we'll see just what the heck lies beyond here. And I'm hoping that some music is going to kick in soon, because the music in this game has been really, really fantastic so far. As it gets a little bit more sinister here. The three-eyed wolf from before comes back. And we may actually get a chance to see some combat at some point. Because there is combat in this game as well. Alright, is this wolf going to fight me? Let's do this shit, buddy. Climb up here. Let's just click on him. Alright, yes. I want to fight. Oh, you have to right click, of course. I forgot. Alright, so we can use our sword and our shield. Oh, God! He jumped on me pretty quickly there. Tap your sword to get out of there. Okay. So we can use our sword and our shield to fight. So I'm going to hold my shield just by clicking on it. And then I'm going to try to hit the wolf when he dives at me. You got to be pretty quick. I will admit that I don't think this control system is the best for fighting, but it definitely does the trick. Man, I can't seem to get him. Alright. Maybe we have to swing at him as he dives at me. I think that's how we're going to have to do it. Because obviously my shield tactic is not working. There we go. Okay, so we do have to time it for exactly when he dives. So the combat isn't so much about being, like, super skilled in the combat. Oh, you're going to run away now with one heart left? He did that to me before. It isn't so much about being super skilled in combat, it's oftentimes just about really solving a combat-type puzzle. So we'll progress forward here. Apparently our dog has abandoned us. We'll move along here, and as we move along, you can see that, like, the environments and, like, textures in the game are really, really deliberate. Let's put it that way. There's, like, a definite aesthetic style that they were going for, and I think they reached it. Like, this is a game that I imagine on the iPod looked awesome. The iPod, how old am I? On the iPhone, on iOS devices looked awesome. But on the PC it still looks really good as well. I mean, this is running in 1920 by 1080, like blown up huge on my monitor, and it still looks really good. Alright, so we have a sword and a shield carved here, but I really don't know what to do about this. One thing I can do is potentially try to solve the puzzle by singing a song of Sworcery. Now this is basically like entering Link's Ocarina of, what am I talking about? Link's Ocarina in Ocarina of Time. Tap, hold, and swipe on Sworcery Oriole. Alright, so I don't think there's actually anything for us to do here. But this is our principal means of solving puzzles. I'm sorry if I explained that pretty poorly right there. But, hopefully we'll get a chance to see that a little bit later as we progress. So what I'm looking for here is, like, bubbling up. Oh, there we go. Oh, I totally missed it. I gotta go all the way back here. Luckily, the further away you are from an objective, the faster your player walks, which is nice. So I was looking for these bubbles right here, and we will get a chance to see the Sworcery, or Song of Sworcery, I should say. So we'll double-click on our guy, or sorry, tap and hold on our guy, because everything is done with clicks, taps, swipes, holds, etc. And we will start singing here, and this is where I have to kind of solve the puzzle of what we're going to do. So I'm going to take a look, thinking maybe it has something to do with this over here. But what else do we have? We've got this waterfall. Do we have something maybe in the trees up here? Just kind of doing a little exploring with my mouse pointer right now. The last puzzle I solved like this, we should just do some clicking and instead. The last puzzle I solved like this was like, we were singing the Song of Sworcery, and we were surrounded by 3 tiny waterfalls, and I had to play, like, pluck the waterfalls like a string in a specific order to get a specific melody to come out. And when that melody played, or you hit the waterfalls in the correct order, then the sprite came out. So we're trying to coax the sprite out, but I'm not sure what our objective is right now. There's another waterfall similar to the string one we've used before. I mean, it has to have something to do with this, right? Like, this is too special to not be involved. You know what? Let's get out of our Song of Sworcery here. Maybe click on this to see if we can get some more information. Does not appear so. Let's open up our Megatome, because we have some new thoughts from someone. And ever so gently touch the edge of the screen to look around, or use the arrow keys. I knew that. Seek the sonorous spumes of the Sylvan sprites and investigate their surroundings. Remember that ingesting forest fungi may offer some oblique insight on cryptological, zoological phenomena and such. Let's see what girl says. 1 or 2 more Sylvan sprites will soothe the ceaseless storm. Okay. No one else has anything to say. So you know what? I have 3 mushrooms in my inventory. Let's digest one right now. Alright, so I'm getting high as a kite. I just might start to check this puzzle out. Now we have a bunch of dots that have appeared. And I think we have to click on these in a specific order, or maybe like connect the dots. Oh, there, we've done something right. I don't really know what I did right, but we did it. Okay, so click on this one first. And then there's like a beam of light that came down here. Okay, so tap. I'm so confused right now. This is the problem with doing puzzle games live. So this one is not moving, so we can just tap on this. But is it the tree, or is there an actual dot? It's definitely a visible dot. So I'm gonna look for like another big dot. How about this one? So I'm clicking on these trees in a specific order again to produce like a specific sound. Okay, so we'll click this tree first. You probably have to arrange them in like lowest tone to highest. So we'll start here. No, it's not that. You can kind of brute force it, honestly. So for example, let's try this. There we go. I actually want to try something. Let's cancel this puzzle. Oh, I didn't cancel it. I actually made it better. Alright, there we go. We've gotten the first 4 trees playing a melody here. Now, what was special about that? We did like thickest to least thick? In which case, this should do it? Alright, I think I solved the puzzle. It was either melody based, or it was arrange the trees in 2 subsets between like thickest and least thick. But we did get our Sylvan sprites to come out. I love the tone that the Sylvan sprite plays when you click it. I hesitate to say it because it makes you sound like a, you know, a sensitive little babby. It's kind of beautiful, don't you think? So now we can move onwards here. I guess first we'll check out the Megatome, see if people have something new on their minds. What does Logfella say? He wishes that video games existed. I know how that is, man. So we will now move forwards here. And I'm kind of hesitating about how much I want to show of this game, because I think it is fairly short. And obviously, as a puzzle game, I'm kind of ruining that sense of discovery for some people. So I don't want to show too much of the game, because really the core of the game, like the thing that actually makes it an engaging experience, is solving these puzzles for yourself. And even as someone like myself who is basically puzzle retarded, and you'll know that if you've been watching my Fez Let's Play, especially the more recent episodes. But even like being puzzle retarded, I've managed to solve these puzzles fairly quickly in my own right, basically by just kind of keeping an open mind and not trying to like impose any kind of puzzle rules on the universe. just being here and being like, okay, this is the puzzle that we're dealing with. I'm willing to work around it. Got another mushroom on the ground here, so we'll pick that up. I'm willing to work around it and, you know, come up with theories and test theories to see whether I'm doing the right thing. Weathered looking nest box that look kind of like a face. Alright, again, I am looking for like sylvan sprites. Megatome, I don't think has anything else to offer. Might have to drop some mushrooms in order to see where I'm going next, but for now I'm just going to move on. We can make just 1 or 2 more sylvan sprites disappear. Oh, there's another mushroom. So the fact that they're giving me so many mushrooms indicates to me that there are probably more like mushroom puzzles in here. But I also hear, yeah, thank you, that there's a sylvan sprite here. Excellent. So we'll have 1 more puzzle to solve, and maybe this is where I will stop it, actually, after we finish this puzzle. So let's play our Song of Sworcery here. And try to solve this puzzle. So what do we have here? We have this, like, gate, which may or may not be just for the background. We have this altar right here, which I've actually done stuff with before. Just do some swipes. We can also, of course, take a look at this face over here. Again, notice the deliberate aesthetic style. Alright, well, what do we have? We have trees. But we've already done that before, so that would probably be passé. Although when I click on this, something happens. Maybe it's this rainbow over here. That seemed right, right? There was like a flourish. Interesting. It's like, click on this, beam of light appears. Click on the beam of light. This is crazy. Okay, click on this, swipe down the beam of light. Click on this. Maybe you have to do it in a certain order. I just gotta relax for a second. I'm just repeating the same thing over and over. Let's see if any of these other bushes are clickable. Yes, but not in the same way. This might be like a swipe and drag. Let's cancel this again. Okay. Click. Beam of light. Drag the beam of light down. Or follow the rainbow up. Find a nickel for every time I said that, right? Alright, this is crazy. If you click at different points along the rainbow, it plays different notes. Whoa! What did I do? Did I solve the puzzle? Absolutely not, right? But the rainbow is now here permanently. And I am confused. We can't really click on this anymore either, okay. Maybe we've unlocked like a second phase of the puzzle. I don't want to leave until the puzzle's done, but I also don't want to just like flounder here for several minutes. But we did create a rainbow here, which is interesting. What happens if we just like cancel this puzzle? The rainbow stays. If I like go over here, I'll show you something cool. We'll pull out a sword. Is this not how we did it? We Scythians loathe rainbows. So I'm missing something here. Let's walk over to this rainbow now. Or sit down on this bench. The fact that we've created this rainbow frightens and arouses me. Okay, let's get up again. Let's try this one more time. We'll sing our Song of Sworcery. I may or may not solve this puzzle. Feel free to play along at home while I try. Okay. So we have this insane rainbow here. What about this one over here? Okay, we can interact with this. Is it just a swipe that they want me to do? Or just click and hold it on the rainbow? There we go, until it becomes real. And the Sylvan Sprite is free, so that puzzle, I didn't even know it until I had solved it, but the answer was just to click and hold on the rainbow. Again, an example of me overthinking things. Alright, so we have now rescued that Sylvan Sprite, and that may possibly clear out the storm. Because, you know, rainbows usually appear after the rain. Check out our megatone, because people have got to be thinking new things now. Alright, Logfella. Storm's starting to lift. Gold Trigon. Everything's been totally mental since the Scythian showed up. Well, anyway, I think this has been a fairly good example of the kind of gameplay that you can expect in Sword and Sworcery, Superbrothers Sword and Sworcery EP. The one thing I regret is that we didn't really get a chance to show off any of the excellent music that isn't part of puzzles. Like, you'll just be walking around and there'll be like fantastic ambient music. Game does sound really, really well. In terms of puzzles, as you can see, they're a little bit simplistic, but they're also a little bit unusual. It's not your standard point-and-click adventure game where you get like a key and a piece of gum, and then you're like, I don't understand how to open this door. Oh, you gotta put the gum on your shoe and then put the key to your shoe and use your key under the door to unlock it. Anyway, Double Fine, if you're watching this, please offer me a job. But anyway, this has been Sword and Sworcery EP, now available on Steam for the price of $6 in its opening week, but by the time this video goes up, I think that sale will be over, and the game will be back to its full price of $8. This is very much an experience that's more about quality than quantity, because there's only going to be, maybe 2 or 3 hours of gameplay inherent for those of you who want to play it, but it's a very different style of game than I'm used to, and I'm really enjoying it so far. In fact, I would not hesitate to say that this is one of my favorite Steam releases of the year so far. So definitely, if you like what you see, check it out, and, don't watch any more videos, because you got to solve the puzzle for yourself. It's all about the sense of discovery that you get from this. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.